Hello, the VC. It is Block with Block's Sonic Wafers. And I wanted to pop in for the past week or so. I have been kind of in a surround sound mood. I know that doesn't categorize with the vinyl community, but here we are. I'm going to run through what I've been listening to. I've kind of mentioned some of this stuff before already, but the quadraphonic universe has all been paying attention to this bundle style release from Rhino. You could get all four of these for around $80. And the first one I'm going to show here is Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies. That is on Blu-ray. Or is it? No, it's quadraphonic, I'm sorry. And it was called a quadraphonic bundle. So there's that one. Secondly, we got Jefferson Starship, Red Octopus, quadraphonic Blu-ray. I'm not a huge fan of this album yet, but I'm giving it the opportunity to become a grower. One of my favorite in this batch is J. Geils Band, Nightmares, and Other Tales from the Vinyl Jungle. This one had the hit I Must Have Got Lost on it. This is previous to the Love Stinks and Centerfold era, where they started going more commercial. And then last but not least in the Quadro bundle is Black Sabbath Paranoid. And all four of these sound absolutely awesome. You know, the main difference between quadraphonic and 5.1, quadraphonic albums are mixed to your four speakers. They don't have anything going to the center channel, and they don't have anything going to the subwoofer. So you have to get your bass out through your floor model speakers if that's what you use. And then I last night listened to Tommy, the deluxe edition. What I love about this is the whole album's on one disc in 5.1, and there's a second disc also SACD in 5.1. It's got a dozen bonus tracks, which are outtakes and demos. You've got a song called I Was, a Christmas outtake, Cousin Kevin, Model Child, Young Man Blues, version 1, Tommy Can You Hear Me, alternate version, Trying to Get Through, Sally Simpson outtakes, Miss Simpson, Welcome, take 2, Tommy's Holiday Camp Band version, We're Not Gonna Take It, alternate version, and then Dogs Part 2, which I recall I had on the B side of a single way back when. And then there are a few more tracks which are stereo only. They are demos. It's a Boy, Amazing Journey, Christmas, Do You Think It's Alright, and Pinball Wizard. So that's the deluxe Tommy. And I had to go with the pure audio Blu-ray version of quadraphonic. in or Quadrophenia in 5.1. And as the album runs through, all of the black and white photography that came with the booklet, the LP version, is shown as a slideshow while you are listening along. There are the fellers. And it's got all of Quadrophenia on a single disc. Sounds great. Last night I was also in anticipation of the new big box set of Jethro Tull's Broadsword and the Beast coming in September. I broke out Songs from the Woods, the country set. Listened to the whole album in 5.1, and I discovered something that I had not noticed before. It's got 4 tracks on here in quadraphonic. They were apparently released as an EP in another country. I couldn't find the EP on Discogs. Maybe I missed it. But it's got Songs from the Wood, Jack in the Green, Velvet Green, and The Whistler in DTS 4.0 and Dolby Digital AC3 4.0. And I had never noticed that on there before, but I listened to them, and they sounded great in quadraphonic. You know, there's a lot of good associated recordings on here. It's got Working John and Working Joe, which, you know, didn't resurface until A came out. It's got Magic Bells instead of Solstice Bells. Some big wig at the label wanted them to do a 4/4 time version of it, which just doesn't match the official release. It's got an early version of One Brown Mouse. It's got Strip Cartoon in 5.1. But most excitedly for me, there's a song on here that had to grow on me. But it's almost 9 minutes, a previously released tune called Old Aces Die Hard. Now that song was marked as Dark Ages on the tape, and it does have a Dark Ages refrain in it that is reminiscent of the song that became Dark Ages, and it's got a couple lines in the song that wound up in another song, which I don't know if that's why it wound up on the shelf, but that's why nobody took it out and played it. But it's a complicated 9-minute tune that's fantastic. It's a shame it didn't wind up on an album. I'm glad it wound up on here. And then we've got the live shows on this one from 1977, mixed by Jocko Jasix from King Crimson, and I think Level 42. It's 2 CDs worth. Great concert, and it's also in quadraphonic on a DVD on here. Great stuff, man. These box sets right here, just, you can't ask for more value wise. And I know a lot of people have gone through all of them. I think I did one as well. I've got them all so far, and I'm looking forward to the new one in September. Poco. We just lost Randy Meisner. I realized he was not on either one of these. But this is a twofer from Dutton. It's got Poco 7 and Cantamos. Two great albums. Sagebrush Serenades on here, Driving Wheel, uh, Bitter Blue, Cricket Song, which is Timothy B. Schmidt. Uh, I love Poco, and this is a really good mix. I've got the controversial Miles Davis Kind of Blue. It is in a 5.1 multi-channel, which I understand that they might have had to do that by placing some extra speakers in the studio. And anyway, it sounds great. Sounds great. I gave this a spin, 461 Ocean Boulevard in 5.1. This is not my favorite EC, but it's a grower. It's got a few bonus tracks, Walking Down the Road, Ain't That Lovin' You, and Meet Me Down at the Bottom. This is absolutely one of my favorite 5.1 mixes. I don't care what you think about Sting outside of his work with the Police or with the Police. I actually prefer his work outside of the Police, and this is a brand new day. This has got so much creative material that is perfect for surround sound to go in the background. Uh, I just absolutely love this one right here. It is great. I did a quadruple feature of the Guess Who, starting with Wheatfield Soul and Canned Wheat. Wheatfield Soul featured These Eyes, which was a hit for them. It's got a song on here called Lightfoot, which was in tribute to Gordon Lightfoot. Of course, he was alive at the time that they recorded this. And Canned Wheat has No Time, Laughing, Undone. That's 3 hits off of that one. All in 5.1. And then we've got Share the Land and American Woman. And American Woman has American Woman, of course. It's got No Time, No Sugar Tonight, The New Mother Nature, Proper Stranger, Hand Me Down World, and Share the Land. A lot of good stuff out of the Canadian fellers there. And this one, I had never heard this before I got it here in multi-channel. This is Return to Forever. Music Magic. So this is Chick Corea and a bunch of great artists. Gail Morgan, Joe Farrell, Stanley Clark is on here, John Thomas, Jim Pugh, Gary Brown, James Tinsley. So there's some really cool stuff on here. And this is a highly sought after SACD. And my favorite Roxy Music disc is Avalon. Again, multi-channel on this one is just absolutely stunning. They got just the right amount of stuff in the back channels. You know, I'm going to have to do something about this light that comes through over here. How y'all like my new corner? I used to film over there at the table. And here's one I pop out frequently. This is 2 later albums by Paul Revere and the Raiders, which are actually pretty dang great. Hard and Heavy with Marshmallow and Indian Reservation. Indian Reservation was kind of on an album that was signaling pretty much the end of their career. And they really had no expectations when suddenly Indian Reservation went straight to the top of the charts. Paul Revere and the Raiders, love them to this day. And the Doors, the singles, but of course there's a Blu-ray in here which is the best of the Doors, and it's only got 11 tracks, whereas the singles is like 2 CDs worth. There's a whole bunch of them in there that aren't on the best of, but there's a great mix on the best of the Doors. It's got Who Do You Love, Soul Kitchen, Hello, I Love You, People Are Strange, I love that one, Riders on the Storm, of course, Touch Me, Love Her Madly, Love Me Two Times, Take It As It Comes, Moonlight Drive, and Light My Fire. So this comes with the Blu-ray of the best of, and then it's got 2 CDs of all of the Doors singles with their B-sides, and there's some bonus tracks. Great set. You can get this at a very reasonable price at Amazon, around $20, I think. Okay, and finally, a treasury of Nick Drake tunes. And this one sounds marvelous, especially the tracks with strings. You've got Introduction, Hazy Jane 2, Riverman, Cello Song, Hazy Jane 1, Pink Moon, Poor Boy, Magic, Place to Be, Northern Sky, Road, Fruit Tree, Black Eyed Dog, Way to Blue, and From the Morning. The late great Nick Drake and Richard Thompson's on a lot of these tunes. Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair on Blu-ray. And 10 years after, A Space in Time. So as you can see, I've been busy with the Surround Me sound. On another note, just to get some vinyl in here, Rachel was showing her Beatles records the other day, and she showed this one, I think, first. When I picked this up, it was sealed. I left it that way for many, many moons. And I finally broke down, opened it up. She showed hers that had this same label on it. And I did some research on mine. And I mentioned this to her, but she didn't get to hear what I was getting at. It says on the back here, released through Alan Owen, screenplay by United Artists. And that is wrong. They are reversed. This also has I Cry instead of I'll Cry instead. But this is a counterfeit. And that's how you can tell. If it says released through Alan Owen, screenplay by United Artists, it's a counterfeit. But I'm going to hang on to it regardless. These guys were pretty good, actually. Okay, that's it for the time being. I hope I didn't keep you too long, and hope you saw something in here that you enjoyed.